someone is spreading gossip, the person being gossiped about is usually not there.
And they really don't have a chance to defend themselves.
But then that's the whole point of gossip, isn't it?
To spread the story behind someone's back and subject them to ridicule and shame.
Next, Carly tells us a story about a girl in her school who went through a difficult time.
When gossip spread around the school that she was pregnant.
One time when people were saying that this person has something she's not, people were saying that she's pregnant, it was going everywhere. Text messaging, calling, IMing, MySpace. I think it went back to a few teachers, and these teachers are looking at her differently, and this girl's like, what? That's not true. But by the time she was telling people that, such a large amount of people already assumed that it was true, that it seemed like she was just making it up, that she was lying when really everyone else was. I had like friends' mothers asking me like, oh my gosh, is she pregnant? And I'm just like, you know what? I don't know. It's not my business to know, and I'm not going to spread something. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's false. She must have cried for weeks and weeks and just felt so like, why would somebody say this about me? Why would somebody make something so untrue up? People must really, really not like me. I didn't personally give advice, but I know there were people that she had that stuck by her the whole time and really got her through it. I really didn't tell anybody because it wasn't my life. It's not my business to tell, and it's not my right to tell. I think a lot of people treated her differently after they heard that. I know I didn't. I mean, I talked to her like a little bit online and stuff, and I just talked to her like I normally would. I didn't bring up the situation because I don't want to get her more upset about something. So I just talked to her like a normal person would talk to someone, like thinking that I never heard the rumor ever.
Well, obviously we can see from Carly's story that people really can be really, really, truly hurt from gossip stories, and especially when they're not true.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. There was this girl at my school that was pinned as like the racist, and there was actually a rumor going around that she called up this girl and started like saying mean stuff to her, and eventually went so far as like the teachers and the principals found out, and the principal was just like, if anybody knows anything concerning this girl, would you please come to like this homeroom? So we all went to that room, and she was just like, you know, this is wrong what you guys are doing, you shouldn't be spreading rumors. But although some of us had just heard about it, some of us didn't really spread the rumor, but it was just like terrible because the girl was in there and she was like all upset and everything, and you could see how badly it hurt somebody.
There's actually a tragic death in my school district, and he was actually a student in my school. And like after his death, there was like a lot of rumors that spread. They spread like, I guess you could say, wildfire. They spread really fast, and I mean, it's got to have a negative impact on the family, you know, just hearing all these rumors come back to them about how their son died, you know. So it just has a really negative impact.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to draw the line between, you know, what should we do and, you know, what society tells us to do. Mm-hmm. So how are Christians to act when they are approached with gossip?
In the Gospel of John, Jesus tells us to love one another. As I have loved you,
so you also should love one another.
If we truly love each other, then we wouldn't spread gossip about anyone.
Next, Carly tells us how she really did learn her lesson about not spreading gossip.
She also tells us to be aware of how gossip can really get out of control with the latest technology like internet and cell phones.
I've always known like gossip is wrong, but after my experience just recently, I've realized that like, wow, this just not gonna do this anymore. I definitely know which people talk about others and which ones don't, and I try to stay away from that group of people. Today especially, you have to be careful with what you say. We have so much technology that everything can spread so fast. It's happened so many times online. Now we have MySpace, Facebook. I mean, people with their pictures, people with what they write on MySpace about somebody else. I mean, it's open to the world. Everybody can see that, and people don't realize how bad that can actually turn out with even text messaging. Let's say I say something to somebody. The next thing I know, they're sending that to somebody else. They're sending that to somebody else. They're sending that to somebody else. And it blows up into this huge thing. Sometimes like boys spread a lot of stories about girls, and let's say a guy says something that you really didn't do, And I've seen this happen so many times, and they're telling everybody. And this poor girl, her reputation is getting killed because of some guy bragging about something that really didn't happen. And I've seen people get so hurt because of it. And it's really just, it's sad. Like, why would somebody lie about something like that? I mean, I know they want to look cool, but they don't realize how much they're damaging somebody.
So what do you guys think? When did you finally realize just how wrong gossip is?
And do you think that the new technology has increased the amount of gossip and the severity of it?
Well, I confess, I used to be a huge gossip monger, but I finally realized how wrong it was when I became the topic of gossip. I used to gossip all the time because it made me popular. You know, everyone wanted to come to me for the latest juicy stories, but it finally came back to me that I was the one spreading all the lies, and I didn't want to be a part of it anymore, so I just completely stopped.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. Actually, the other day I was reading a magazine, and there was this whole entire article about a website devoted to gossip. It's called Juicy Campus or something. And it was just like you pick what school you go to, and then you can just write whatever you want about anybody there. And it can really hurt somebody just because that information goes to anyone. Their family can just see all this stuff about them that may not even be true.
And it's funny that you mention that because, a lot of people love reading these, magazines that are basically, what it's down to is yellow journalism. And it's really almost brought down the severity of gossip like it's an everyday thing, like it's almost acceptable, And it really isn't. It's not fair.
A lot of people don't realize when they put personal information and photos online, not only is it dangerous, but it's inviting gossip and inviting sin. And we really just need to disconnect from it because not only could anyone see it, but I mean, it's open to future employers, to parents, to teachers. It could really get you in a lot of trouble.
And going along with what you're saying, like instant messaging, emails, that type of thing, when you send in a message to someone else about another person, and if it's something negative, then if it gets, that person can just easily send it to the person that you originally said it about. So it'll eventually come back to you, so.
Come back to haunt you.
In fact, all these things that were mentioned really helped in my progression to learn how gossip was a wrong thing, and I try not to do it. Sometimes it happens, but I just have to keep on trying to avoid that.
Well, let's check out the teens on the street and find out if they think that your faith can help you when it comes to gossip.
And if they think gossiping is a sin.
Yes, I do think gossiping is a sin, even though it's not one of the 7, is it? But however, it is because it's not right to speak about somebody you do not know when you're not educated on anything.
Well, yeah, you can say this is sin because it causes trouble. Yeah, you can say it.
Freedom of speech, so now.
Not much is a sin. I mean, it is a lie, but it depends on how out of hand it gets.
People just like to talk, but it's not a sin.
I think it is a sin. Sometimes they could be true, but sometimes they could be lies, and lying's a sin, so.
In a sort of way, you don't want to be making up rumors about people.
Yeah, I think that talking about other people is not a good thing.
Why?
It hurts people's feelings.
I wouldn't say it's a sin. I wouldn't go that far, but I'd say just having having malicious intentions while you gossip is pretty bad.
Do you think that prayer can help to battle gossip?
Yes, because if you truly believe in prayer, it will help you through anything, even gossip, as something as so small as that.
Prayer's a big thing.
I don't think prayer can help the person. The person who is being gossiped about, but the people who are gossiping about someone, I don't think prayer will really help them.
I guess it can at certain times, yeah.
If you're praying instead of gossiping, then...
Well, people are going to do what they want, really, and you can't stop that.
Did you say prayer? No, prayer is not helping much. It's your own uniqueness that helps yourself.
It'll help you cope with gossip better, especially if there's gossip about you. So definitely faith can help you with gossip.
Every time I know I'm about to get into something, I'm like, God, please help me. Whatever I'm about to get into, just help me. Just help me deal with this.
Gossip opposes all God's call to respect life.
It opposes the virtues that Jesus taught us.
Next, Carly tells us why she thinks gossiping is a sin.
And that prayer can help you deal with gossip.
With all the teachings we hear about Jesus, he always helped people. And by gossiping about somebody, by talking about somebody, that's obviously not helping somebody. That's doing the polar opposite. That's hurting somebody. For us to make fun of other people or gossip about other people, that's basically making fun of God's creation. Gossiping is wrong in general, But when you don't know when something's 100% true at all, that's even worse. You're not alone spreading something about somebody, but you're spreading a lie. And that's wrong because you're hurting the person, and it's going against what we as Christians believe in. The 10 Commandments, I mean, there's about 3 that you're going against right there and then, and that's sinning, and that's really just wrong in so many different ways. And if you do talk about people, then you just really need to stop and think, what if somebody was saying this about me? And prayer helps you through it all. God will always be there for you no matter what, and that's what's so great about it, because sometimes when you feel like you have no one to turn to, no one understands, like somebody said this about me, you don't understand how I feel, God will understand and he will help you through it all.
So how about you guys? Do you think gossiping is a sin?
And how can our faith help us to deal with gossip?
I know gossiping is a sin because it is associated with bearing false witness. I know that our faith can help us turn away from gossip because it helps us to pivot away from that urge to just talk about people.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We learned about the 10 Commandments this year in our religion class, and there's a whole section on gossiping and stuff. And there's 2 different types of gossip. One's detraction, one's calumny. And detraction means you're spreading a lie about someone to hurt their reputation. And then the other one means that you're spreading the truth. That's something that they don't want to share with other people to hurt their reputation. And I definitely see how that can be bearing false witness.
Yeah, and people who are victims of the gossip, and they're targeted from all these people, and if it has a dramatic impact on their life, and they feel as Carly said, they have no one to talk to, they just have to remember that God is always there, and he'll solve anything if you really believe in him.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a sin, because God wants you to treat everyone else as you'd like to be treated. So if you're spreading this rumor about someone else that's making them feel really bad, then think about how you would feel if you were in their position. So
we just have to remember that gossip is temporary, and friendships have the potential to be permanent. So we have to figure out what we value more, gossip or lifelong friendships.
And it really doesn't matter what the circumstance is, because it's always wrong. In fact, we are called to interpret every situation in light of our Christian commitment,
to convert our hearts to God,
to love one another,
to right wrongs and heal pain when we or others
have created them through bearing false witness against our neighbor.
So stand your ground and don't spread gossip.
And stay strong and lean on God if the nasty face of gossip turns your way.
Do you have a story of someone persevering through vicious gossip?
We'd like to know. Contact us through our website.
The address is www.realfaithtv.com.
Or you can even call us at 609-406-7402.
And remember,
God does not call Christians to live out the gospel of Jesus Christ by hurting one another.
We are called to be selfless and to serve others.
Remember this next time someone comes with you with the latest gossip.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on
Real Faith TV. God bless.